future of real estate in Pakistan, and I have with me is 5 other panelists. So if you are in a real estate environment and you really want to know how the life look like from here onward in Pakistan, this is the panel discussion you should be part in. Stop everything right now, and I have a distinguished panelist with me. And I'm going to share my screen right now, if you allow me to share screen, because I'm going to make an introduction for every one of, because they are way bigger, beautiful than how they look on the screen. By the way, just little bit about me. I'm the real estate investor in Pakistan and USA, and a co-author of New Success Secrets and entrepreneurial philanthropist, and the host of Better Pakistan Monday to Friday 9 p.m. Pakistan time, and the publisher of multiple business magazines, Billionaire Mentor magazine, Work from Home magazine, and Real Estate Income magazine. And I have with me is also the Farhat Bashir. Farhat Bashir is the founder and CEO of Sirab Technologies and the founder of Sirab Maps, an innovative product that disrupted real estate Pakistan. Sirab Maps awarded Pakistan the most prestigious Pasha ICT Award as Best Innovation in Real Estate, mentor and judge to startup competition, national level competition like NGIRI and many others, serving real estate Pakistan for the past 4 years using cutting edge technology to best use and innovator of Sirab Hajj Maps. And we also have Amir Hussain. Amir Hussain is the CEO of a multi-award winning Yummy Architects in Bradford, UK, with over 160 million pound worth of innovation product currently underway across the UK. Board member of the L.E.G, which has over 1.4 billion pound budget to improve the region, as a board of Bradford University and several regional panels. Specialty in the integration of a social technology trends to real estate sector to create a sustainable communities. And we have the Kamran Hyatt Muzaffar. He is a managing director of multiple businesses in Spain, from chain of supermarkets to Suma, real estate and hotel business in Spain with the brands. And also he started first commercial project is Mellow World in Beach 17 and Lost Taurus in Faisal Town, Islamabad, and about to launch a third project, Agora in Gandhara City, Islamabad. And also we have with us Naseem M. Java. Naseem M. Java is the founder of eBuild Pakistan, the initiative taken to digitize Pakistan construction industry, consultant, designer, contractor, and a commercial residential construction interior known as Exotic Interior Studios. Believe in channeling, nurturing, and training youth entrepreneurs for better and independent Pakistan. Mera aur aapka Pakistan. And the last but not the least, we have the Faisal Akhundzada. Faisal Akhundzada is the founder of Sigma Properties and Marketing Private Limited, the focus on real estate marketing of key projects in Pakistan and construction work. Expert and trust building activities with the overseas Pakistanis to invite them to invest in Pakistan. He is trying his level best to bring international business best practices to a local market. Love to travel to different continents and great at understanding human behaviors. With all that, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And let me start with ladies go first. Farhat, as per your understanding, being a pioneer in getting awards in real estate, how the future of real estate look like in Pakistan?
Future of real estate in Pakistan. As Khurram rightly said, that majority of the overseas Pakistanis invest in property, keeping that the investment in the property is the most safest investment. But right now, as the things are changing, definitely they are looking for other investment opportunities as well. From my point of view, or what my experience with the real estate of Pakistan is, the future of real estate Pakistan is quite promising. Anybody who want to start a project over here in Pakistan, it is the right time to start. And you must look for the opportunities, and you must look for you must not only focus on the major cities like Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad, but you should go back to your own cities, and you must try to look for the ways that how you can provide better living opportunities to those areas as well. So if for here, I like to quote the example of Murshid Qazi Sahab. And he was, last days I was following his timeline, and he just amazingly changing his own area by providing the tourism opportunities there, because he understands that that's yes, the nature has provided a lot of opportunities to his area, but unfortunately that is untapped. So he is untapping all those opportunities and not only providing employment to his own people, but also attracting the tourists from not only Pakistan, from other countries as well. So the opportunities are huge. You must jump in and you must look for those opportunities if you are interested to invest.
Thank you. Faisal, you are the marketing expert and you understand overseas people, overseas Pakistanis, and you want to bring overseas Pakistanis to build a trust in Pakistan, and you are working on marketing different projects in all major cities in Pakistan. How do you see a future of real estate in Pakistan?
First of all, thank you so much for bringing me in and inviting me into the panel discussion. Actually, marketing is, it's a different ball game in Pakistan. It's very tricky because the marketing in Pakistan, a lot of people, the problem in Pakistan is trust deficit. And whenever, when we talk about overseas Pakistan, the only problem they get is that they don't have enough trust to actually invest in. And there might be quite few reasons for that. A lot of people are working on blockchains and technology, but the governments, which from past few decades were not that concerned about the security for overseas Pakistani. I mean, like if we, for example, talk about the paperwork in all the government sectors, you can change them. So if there is something which can be changed by a human, you can't have trust then. For example, look at this. We have some senior people like Farhat ma'am. She might be knowing that it's so difficult to actually work with the capital development authorities and all these stuff. So for that reason, we need to work hard as an overseas Pakistanis, you people. We need to work with the government so they can have some clear policies for the overseas Pakistanis and for the Pakistan. Like in Dubai, they have RERA. We need to work on it. So once that's the gap is there is a huge gap in it. Once that's completed, then we can work aggressively on bringing in more investors. For example, if I'm born and brought up in Abu Dhabi, so there are a lot of people in Abu Dhabi, the Arab people, they want to invest in, but there is no mechanism in Pakistan. How should they invest? And there is no criteria for them. So there are a lot of things which we need to work on. But there is a big gap in Pakistan because nothing is developed. So we need to develop a lot of things. Actually, in Pakistan, the problem was Pakistan needed more than 7 to 8 new cities, which were never developed. So those cities were taken by the societies, unfortunately, which is very wrong. They should have been more, there are architects on the panel, they might be knowing about it, that urbanization doesn't happen like that, because all these cities, like for example, Islamabad, they have Pindi, then they have Gujar Khan, they have Taxla, they all are actually coming to Islamabad. So the burden on Islamabad or the cities like Lahore and Karachi are, it's adding up to more and more problems. So we need a solution for that. So once we find a solution for that and we sit with the government, then only we can do something very, very exponential, like Dubai or Turkey or Malaysia. Before that, I don't think so. It will be like small things happening, like residential buildings and all that, because Pakistan, there's no infrastructure yet to bring in big investors in Pakistan.
Very well said. So Naseem, you are the founder of eBuild Pakistan, and you want to digitize the whole Pakistan, construction industry and real estate. So how do you see coming from Dubai and like a Middle East to the Pakistan? How do you see that? What's the future of real estate look like in Pakistan?
Thank you very much, Siddique, and hello to everyone, and thanks for taking me on. I think we've been talking about real estate in Pakistan for a while now. It's at least for a couple of years, and undoubtedly the potential of industry is huge. But before we move on, I think it's very important for us to put some number sense. Like, let's be subjective about the topic. If we just look at the numbers of real estate sector in Pakistan, Pakistan's real estate sector or construction industry is contributing 2% in the national GDP, and our sector of construction industry is not structured. If we just take Faisal's comment, why people from abroad are not coming in, it's the only reason we see it's not structured. It's not very well structured industry. But looking at the potential, Pakistan's total wealth around over 40%, around 600 to 700 billion dollars worth of industry is lying there. What is stopping us to tap it is like infrastructure. Till today, there's none of the governments who have actually come in and said, you know what, we need to make it or declare it as a proper industry and let's work towards it. This recent government has introduced a lot of changes in the industry verticals in terms of taxes, withholding tax, and how it all works. But at the same time, they have not improved the capacity to handle it. I mean, there are many projects which will come in, but on the other side, the setup or the infrastructure is not helping the people or investors to come in. Surprisingly, my participants will be shocked to hear that Pakistan's total population, 74.6%, they live in only 10 cities, which is a disaster. It's actually fearful. We were supposed to develop cities, but but one or the other reason, it was politicized or influenced by the people. So these projects were taken over by the real estate developers and they just put all the money into the same cities. So I think that potential is huge, Siddique. The only thing is, you know, whenever you work towards one opportunity, all the stakeholders should be taken on board. The problem is we are working in teams, in pieces, into smaller units, but no, these units are not coming together and make a big puzzle out of it. Problem is missing that we are not able to bridge the whole stakeholders and say let's work together. Right now we are discussing a lot of opportunities, but you know, if you go out, what is the outcome? How government will take it on? Would they listen to us, the problems we are bringing in from UK, UAE, America, or the experts? Would they take it on and do some improvements? That's where we are lacking. But potential wise, like I said, the total wealth of Pakistan, 40% or more than 40%, $600 to $700 billion is lying in real estate. It's a huge industry. $5.2 billion per year we spend on construction. Just imagine there is no record. It's a very minimal part is recorded and it's 5.2 billion. Just imagine if every gray corner is recorded, structured, and we put a system behind it. There is an engine. People will love to come in Pakistan and invest in it.
Inshallah, people love to come. In fact, that's not just a dream. We have someone, the Kamran Hyatt Muzaffar from Spain. He already came and he is a big real estate developer in Spain, and also he is about to take over Pakistan in terms of his business as an international brand. And he is about to launch his third project right now in Pakistan, not the first one, not the second one, the third one. That's the level of overseas Pakistan we need to believe from our heart. It's our own country and we need to develop it. So Kamran, based on your experience and all the challenges you have faced, like everybody else has their own challenges, how do you see the future of real estate in Pakistan? You are muted. You need to unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. In fact, there are challenges, there are opportunities. When we came and we have seen internationally the standards of living, the standard of in other countries. And then when we went back to Pakistan and we see the level of the construction, the level of designs, what the guys are marketing and what they design and what they are building is low quality, low standards. So all these things motivated us to go back to Pakistan and invest in Pakistan for some sustainable development projects. So that what was the motive and that what was the intention that motivated us to go back to Pakistan and invest in real estate and development projects. But there are huge challenges. Everybody should know it. Everybody wants to come in. I just want to be patient. You have to face many challenges at bureaucratic level. Getting NOCs is a really difficult job. Nowadays, government has announced that bigger opportunities for construction industry, and you can do this and that. But you know how many projects are in pipeline to get approvals. So the infrastructure that the government authorities got to get approved those things, they are not well equipped to judge everything and to see everything and to award the contract and NOCs. So it's really bureaucratic hurdles are too much. So your initial calculations that what you are going to do and what actually is quite difficult. It's quite different. So maybe your projections and your estimates that you start a project, when you are ending it up, so maybe you are losing money, or maybe it's not the same case because of the fluctuation in PKR as well, because most of the equipment we have to import from other countries. So when you calculate, for example, when you are going to construct a building, so you estimate, okay, I will, like you can see, when we started our first project, steel was 60,000 rupees per ton. So now it's 110 and 115. So it's almost double the price of steel only. So all these things are, you should be very much conscious. I tell everybody who wants to come in, there are opportunities. Of course, there are opportunities. The opportunities are because things are not being done very professionally. Architecture-wise, when you go, you see plazas and buildings and apartments, and you just see how these construction standards and construction design are such a low quality, so you can easily compete with the existing constructors. So that's the good thing, that you can compete if you are coming with out-of-box ideas and out-of-box designs, and you are coming with international standards, so you can compete easily in terms of designs and quality. But you should be very much conscious while you are doing your estimates for construction costs and everything. Governments, there you should be very conscious with the delays you will be facing. So there are some projects we faced around 2 years to get NOCs. So 2 years, you know, that you have, and every department you go, they are asking you for money. Okay, this is very much true. So it's not, and there are challenges and there are opportunities. But the opportunities are what I think that we have. The growth in Pakistan construction industry is exceptional. The cities are big cities. You can see Lahore has multiplied around 10 times. Islamabad multiplied 10 times. So, but that's also one of the problems, is that jointly there are societies on one side, there are government departments on one side, and then transports of linkage roads and electricity and gas and schooling and industry and everything. There is no any urban planning there is. So we are like growing without any planning. So that's the one of the failure, I think, that is happening. But and also we have to develop these small cities and improve the standard of living in small cities. Small cities, they don't have the schools and colleges, they don't have the universities, they don't have hospitals, they don't have the transport systems. So that's also, they don't have the industrial zones. So there are many opportunities and challenges. One should be very much careful while entering in this sector, and very much, I think, you should be very much calculative while entering in Pakistan real estate industry.
Thank you, Kamran Bhai. And now we have the Amir Hussain. He is on the mission to integrate the whole construction industry into one platform, so everyone to build integrated communities. Amir Hussain, how do you see a future of real estate in Pakistan?
Okay, you know, I've been listening to the comments that are made, and obviously these are from people who are experts in this field and very experienced in Pakistan. I basically wanted to try and share a little bit about what is happening in the West, because I believe that what happens in the West happens everywhere else in a matter of time. And, you know, the bottom line is that, you know, we have got a lot of technology and we are all adapting to technology and we're bringing it in. But the real question is, are we actually changing anything? You know, we have got some really major challenges, and I would say that Pakistan has got even more than most other places. So if I talk about air quality, if I talk about the amount of inequality in society, if we talk about the level of productivity, and if we talk about the health expectations for people, how does the built environment make a difference to this? And, you know, we know that the government has got limitations, and I've heard the comments today where people are saying that this is a difficult thing for the government to do, and I accept that. So ultimately, my challenge is to the developers to say, when you develop a scheme, when you decide to do it, what is your motivation here? What is the motivation to encourage people to come and invest in Pakistan? Is it simply to make money? Is that the only goal? Is it to show that you're successful? Is it to show your stature? Or is it, as well as those things, is it to actually leave a positive legacy? And I think that where I come from in these situations is to say that if you can have a situation where we think about who benefits from your development. So when you say, I have built X number of houses, who benefited from this? How did inequality be addressed through this? How did we address air pollution? There's a water shortage. How did it overcome this problem? And you see, the thing is that I think that as society progresses, technology is providing opportunities to bypass the authorities. It's providing opportunities where you don't need the institutions. You can do things remotely, you can do things digitally, you can connect with people that you don't need the infrastructure to do that you used to do. So I would say that there's a big opportunity from what is happening outside, and also to look, I will come on to integration later because I think that's a later point, but I would like to make the broader point that if there are 3 dimensions that we can look at, dimension 1 is the current situation with whatever inequalities, whatever problems. Dimension 2 is a little bit of technology. Let's plug in a couple of things. Let's do this. Let's do a couple of things. It doesn't really change the inequalities, doesn't create a new reality, doesn't create a new situation. But the 3rd dimension is when something is completely new, is completely different and transforms society. And I want us to be thinking on that level.
No, that is a great, that's as expected. So as we all know, Pakistan has been declared as a construction as an industry very recently, not long ago, and there were many incentives for developers to come in and build like a vertical building, so that way instead of going horizontal we go vertical, so based on our increasing population. So however, when we are talking about building a vertical building, there are so many issues in that one: the quality, environment friendly, green buildings, and when power is not there, then how the lift and elevator will operate, and how people come from the 23rd floor to the ground floor. There's so many practical implementation issues in Pakistan. So how do you see this creating a livable, sustainable vertical building? We all say devil is always in the detail. And I will start with Kamran. Kamran, you are about to start this vertical building. So how you are going to overcome all the challenges that people are about to face, they are already facing?
I think the key is in the planning, that as the Amir said, that the architecture have to play the major role. So, and the planning, how you plan to build your building. In Pakistan, as you very much said, that people are motivated by profits, not motivated by some real reason why they are investing, why they are developing, and what is the objective. In our case, we are not in Pakistan for profits. We are in Spain, for example, the profits are very much here, the market is very much mature, and financing is very much available. The government is very supportive. So when we leave this, instead of Spain and instead of Europe, we go to Pakistan and invest in such kind of projects. So our motivation not is only the profits. Of course, the profits should be there because it's after all, it's the business, and to sustain a business, we must get margins and profits. But our main motive is to get those things that West has already learned and from their mistakes. So we should not repeat those mistakes now. And after 30 years, 20 years, then we see, okay, our buildings designs are not good. It's difficult to evacuate people when there is a fire. It's difficult to have the communities can't share their common activities. and water problem, heating problems, and this electricity problem, and all the buildings. When you are living in a vertical community, so there are multiple problems that West is already aware. They faces problems, they fix the problems, and now they have the solution. In Pakistan, because we are not used to live in vertical buildings, so people are not familiar with the problems they can face in next years. Because it's very much right that we should build vertical buildings. That's the only solution, and we should spare more open space, more parks, more open spaces. So and we should go vertical. But we, as a society, we are not prepared, and we don't have the expertise and knowledge that how should a vertical society should live, as they will be sharing common spaces. They should respect each other's privacy. They should respect the cleanliness. And there are the management services that you have to pay every month. And there should be management companies. And there should be you should think of all the possible problems that vertical societies could face. So you should have the prepared problems. So what we did is that all our designs, we did those designs from Spanish architects. They have got the experience that they needed for such kind of designing such kind of buildings. So we spent around 1 year time for planning each building. Why 1 year time to get planning of and designing one building? Because we wanted them to get minimum detail of everything. For example, how the garbage, how the sewerage and electricity, maintenance, everything, air, everything that water shortage, heating problems, and all these things that we have to put into our design. So once the building is built, so it should be sustainable and it should be like we should build a community, not just a building and a house. So I think this could be done with the experienced architects like Amir and other people who are in this. They have the experience in this developing this kind of communities. So they should come in and design things that are sustainable and workable and practical solutions.
No, wonderful. In fact, you said there are a lot of issues. One more issue we missed. That's a noise level. When we are having a party at home, we don't care about neighbors. That's number one. That's not number one.
When you are living in a vertical community, you face multiple challenges. You should respect each other's privacy, and that you have the common places you are using.
Yeah.
So you should. In Pakistan, you say it's your own house, so you can do anything. Yes, you can do anything. But for example, in a vertical building, you can't do anything. You can't go and drill in every wall. So there are multiple issues that you have to educate also to the residents also, but starts from the planning. So you should start planning a good multiple tenants and multiple residence buildings.
Wonderful. As Farhat, I'm going to start ask the next question to you is, we are in COVID-19 right now, and the pandemic situation. There's a new normal where we will be living from here onward. That means, and Pakistan is already pandemic many times because there's a strike, whole city is closed. That means we can't move. So that's a different level of pandemic, but now it's a real health pandemic. So Pakistanis are used to live in that situation for a long time. However, in this one, you work with many developers and many projects. How do you see the developers are accommodating any situation like a pandemic and still people can go on with their life right now? Is there some pandemic COVID-19 situation built into this designs of any projects are happening anywhere, like a mixed use buildings or something like this? How do you see it?
Actually, in Pakistan, this high-rise building concept is quite a new. I would say quite a new, because very few people go for it, and very few people understand how the combined living is. They prefer a canal or 2 canal or 4 canal house for their living, and they are not at all in the favor of high-rise, because they don't understand that these high-rises are the future. These high-rises are not the future, but the necessity. Necessity in the sense because as we are with the help of Serap Maps, we are digitizing all the housing societies master plans. So we have very good understanding how these housing societies are eating the land, the agricultural land. So if we won't stop here, if we won't stop the horizontal expansion, so in coming years or maybe 4 or 5 years, we'll see the agricultural land turned into the housing societies, and now we have no more land for the agriculture there. Okay, so yes, the need is there, but how the developers and the builders are accommodating. Previously, they were not seriously looking into it, and these pandemics. Actually, when I relate your question to the pandemic and to the current situation of the real estate, sadly, the real estate industry of Pakistan is not mature enough to adopt the changes, right? So something like these pandemics and this, they were working on the conventional methods. They had their own things going their own way. But now with this pandemic, this specific pandemic, COVID-19, as there was a strict lockdown and everything was on hold, so they now are moving towards the other opportunities or the other support systems or support mechanisms. Like now they are looking for the technology support. Now they are ready to adopt the change that technology is bringing for them. So now there is an entirely different situation for them. Okay, previously we had so many lockdowns in the sense that the whole city was locked down. It was the whole city only that was locked down. It wasn't the country. The whole country was locked down. It wasn't the whole business of the country was on hold. But right now in this pandemic, the whole country, in reality, the whole world is on a hold situation. So now they are learning that which technology tools are available there in the market that they can adopt and they can keep their wheel running, right? So now they have the good understanding that okay, how the social media or the digital marketing is. Now they are learning what is the proper planning means. What is the proper planning of us building on a software means. So this is something that now they are learning. They are in the phase of learning. We are not like West. We are not literate. Unfortunately or sadly, the real estate community here in Pakistan, they are not educated enough to adopt all these rapid changes. They are not educated enough to adopt the technology. For this reason, we need the people, the technologists. We need the people from who have the experience in working in different countries, that we all combine together and we design such solutions for them that okay, they can provide us the support because they know the ground realities better than us. We people sitting in our offices, we don't know what the ground realities are, how all these construction works or the other development works really work here in Pakistan. As previously Kamran shared, that it only took 2 years for the process of the approvals time took him. It was quite a 2 years time that all his projects were approved, because it was going from one department to another department to another department. So for that, you need someone who have experience of working here in Pakistan, who understand how all these departments work. Okay, so when you combine your expertise with those people, so there are higher chances that we will really serve this community. And that's the reason that we are the geospatial people, but we jumped into the domain of real estate and we designed a solution to support the real estate community.
Thank you, Farhat. I appreciate. Naseem, you wanted to add something like a great point.
I just wanted to say, Siddique, Brother Amir has raised a very good topic. You know what? Actually, we are all discussing what is happening, what are the issues. But if we take a step back and look at the basics, we need to correct our basics. No matter how do you bring the technology and everything, the culture in our country has been like, when there is a problem, just let's ignore that and bring something else to work on. So there is an opportunity. In past 30 years, we have not, worked on any opportunity enough, that we just did bits and pieces. Now, in this real estate sector or construction sector, there are three major stakeholders. One is regulator, second is developer or contractor, third is the end user. Now, if we go back to the first level, regulator level, we really need to correct the basics. Until you correct the basics, you can keep doing trial and error things, and you can do bits and pieces. There's no relief. No one is going to see the changes. So I think the very important factor is the regulator, which is government or municipalities or cities, councils. They have to play their role in planning phase. They need to lay down the basics for the developers. That's one point. Second thing, government does not really offer, or municipalities don't offer to contractors or developers, I think basically to developers, that why should they go to small cities or the small areas where they should plan a new city, new urbanization. So if you don't bring them, motivate them, or put some advantages, no one is going to do that. So once the basics are corrected, I think then all the issues brother is raising from Spain, or Farhat is raising, or anywhere, they will fall in all place, because your basics are correct. You have to follow the basic infrastructure or whatever the requirements laid by the government, and then follow the norms. This will all fall into the right place. I think we really need to go back and correct the basics first at the regulator level. Once the regulator is on the place, they improve the capacity of their departments. We developers or contractors need to do nothing, just to follow it up. Then only we can grow. Otherwise, if we are growing, we are bringing digitalization, we bring whatever, it's not going to help. Look at the IT side. I mean, when world was growing, they were building Silicon Valleys. What we did with it? We got nothing out of it. And we are so happy, oh, we have done a lot. We have done nothing. We made no revenue out of technology till today. It is just the shortfall. India fell short out of technology, or the quality they supply, or let's say America has turned their face to us, or Europe has done. Our expat Pakistanis are sitting across, they're bringing business. Otherwise, we have done nothing in technology. So we really need to go back, face the reality, correct the basics. We cannot shy away and keep changing our mind, bring something new, live with it, play with it for a few years, and then go back again, bring something else. We really need to become a responsible and a serious nation to take certain steps, help the regulator, help the government to take certain measures, take certain steps to facilitate the developer, bring the investors from outside, and take the right step, right direction to take the country to next level. Otherwise, whatever we are discussing today, please take my words, we will be discussing the same issues after 1 year.
In fact, we have been discussing the same issues for the last 70 years. Let me show you that
there
part.
You go. There you go. So let's have a productive discussion.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. The Faisal, do you agree with what Naseem Bhai is saying? You're muted.
Actually, sorry. Actually, I just muted my mic at that time. As they say, the first step towards cure is to accept that there is a problem. The problem with us is that we don't accept our problems, and we are actually basically a Jugaadi Qawm. And till we don't actually kill this thing, Jugaad, we will never succeed in our life. We will be talking about all these problems, but never about solutions. We have Jugaad for everything, and that's the biggest problem we have now. I mean, like, there are a lot of people. There was a guy from UK. I don't want to name him because maybe he's a very good friend of mine. He actually purchased like 6,000 canal of land near Islamabad, and he said to me that I want to open a society. So one of his GM came to me and opened everything, and he said that we have designed this from Spain, some big company. I don't want to name that architect name because Amir is here, so I want him to get the maximum jobs now. That guy, he actually, when I just opened those papers, so I said that where is your entrance? He said that we are working on the entrance, so we will get this entrance after 2 years. I said, you cannot get the entrance after 2 years. I mean, like, how are you going to sell it to anyone? What's the guarantee that you're going to get the main entrance for that society after 2 years? Because if somebody like Malik Riaz or Alim Khan cannot get it so easily, how can you get it? I mean, like, with so much power. So there are a lot of things, there are a lot of problems we are facing right now. And you know, we can convince few people, but we can never convince people like Shahid Khan, who is a multi-billionaire, to come in and invest on a massive scale, because the government has no regulatory authority. I mean, whom to blame? For example, if somebody comes to Pakistan, what guarantee do we give him that, you know, his thing will be delivered on time? We cannot guarantee this thing, because there will be a lot of fluctuation in prices. There will be a lot of fluctuations in other things. Maybe some partner will run off, somebody will throw the money. So we have to take care of each and everything, and that's not regularized. And you know, it's not just a one-man show in Pakistan. You know, for example, if you are a big developer, you have to keep the bureaucracy with you. If you can't keep bureaucracy, it's open, it's not a secret. Everybody knows it. Malik Riaz on a TV channel he told that if you don't put wheels to your file, you can't move it on. So you have to put a wheel on the file. So you know, I mean, Kamran, and you know, he knows it because he's working in it, and I'm feeling very, very confident that these type of guys are really working in Pakistan, and they have such a big heart, because people who come in Pakistan, they are scared. They don't know what to. I mean, like I can address 5 people or 10 people. I cannot address people on a massive scale. So everybody has to do something. You know, there's a lot of problems. So that's one thing. Now, as Ma'am Farhat was speaking about the COVID-19 situation. You know, in 2001, after 2001, there was a huge, you know, up in the market in Pakistani real estate market. It was not because of General Pervez Musharraf. Even if it was Zardari or anyone, it would have gone up, because it was the need of the hour at that time. People were distressed in abroad. They wanted to come back, and they wanted to invest in Pakistan. In COVID-19, I have seen something which is unusual. In past 2 months, we have done more business than usual, which was very unusual for me, because a lot of overseas Pakistanis, they think when they feel distressed, they think, oh, I should go home. Especially the older lads, not the younger one, the older lads. I need to go home. I need to have a home there. I need to have a land for my son or for my daughter. So they think that way. So it had surged. So every such panic things are, you know, it's like it's a blessing in disguise for us. We don't need that kind of, but it's a blessing in disguise for us in the Pakistani market. Second thing, as I told, that we need new cities. All these cities are being taken over by societies, and if I be very right, the only society which is working, which is not working just as a society but working as a city, is only Capital Smart City, which is actually designed by Shobon Joron, which is a Singaporean company, which is in actual form a smart city. And you can believe that you know, a lot of overseas Pakistanis are buying their products. And the reason behind that, they have all these qualities which international market has, such as, for example, like from trash, from you know, from Internet of Things, from smart detections. They're bringing you know, a tower which will have 16,000 seats available for all the IT specialists, and they will connect that tower with Silicon Valley. And they will come here, they will develop those products, and they will sell it all over the world. So we need some people like that to be innovative in the market, not just to bring a damaged society. We don't need just society. What do we have to do with society? We have societies all over Pakistan. I'm actually, as a marketer, I'm fed up of looking at the societies. I need to see vertical things, which are green buildings. Naseem might be knowing that there is a city called Masdar in Abu Dhabi, which is a green city. We can bring such things, innovative things, into Pakistan and design new things. And we can. It's not a big problem. And those who have done, look at the Centaurus building. You know, the Sardar Yasir and Sardar Tanveer, they are very good friends. You know, we are our business partner also. He was talking to me, you know, when there was a earthquake back in 2007, nobody was accepting. They didn't have soil testing in Pakistan for such a huge building. Can you imagine? They had to send that soil test to Australia.
Okay.
So we need solutions.
Okay.
We need to identify our problems and then the solutions.
Absolutely, definitely. That's why we are having this conversation. And thank you so much. Really great. We are in last 10 minutes, so our everything has to be finished in 30 seconds. So let's do a quick round so that way we can cover the most of it, because please try to cover in 30 seconds. So my question is, as the topic is the future of real estate in Pakistan. The future of real estate, if you ask me, is in green buildings. Okay, even though it may look like a very
100%.
Okay, because of the power, Babda bill, Bijli, Mengi, Sara kuch, everything is like expensive and it's not available. Expensive and it's not available, two things. And every year it's going to go up, it's not going to go down because of the budgets and how the power structure is, the power tariffs are structured in Pakistan. So how the solar panels, like the latest one, especially, the buildings with the glasses outside, there's not a simple glass, it's like a solar panel. So they generate enough, and because God has given us a lot of sun and everything all over Pakistan in most of the weather all around years. So, Kamran, have you considered going on a green side in your building?
Yes, I just want to come up with something that there are, as other brothers said, there is one side is government, that is something you can't do. Okay, you can go and you can ask, and then you can request that they change their policies, they change their infrastructure to get the approvals quickly, to do more things. But sometimes you can just say and say and say, and they can't do it, or they don't want, there is no intention to do it because of their vested interest. So maybe or we are here just to asking them, or we have to do something at our own, that what we can do. What we can do is that the buildings that we are building should be well planned, well equipped, and it should be sustainable, green buildings, smart buildings, and so everything is being considered in planning, and construction is being done at good levels. So the future residents and also, I just want to diversify a bit, like the future investors that was come in Pakistan, everybody wants to buy plots, and instead of buying plots, and we have to get other investment channels as well. For example, we ask investors to invest in school buildings, to invest in hospital buildings, to invest in industrial buildings, to invest in warehousing, to invest in smart, for example, the IT buildings, those where the freelancers and internet guys can come and they can software houses. So instead of just building, so in Pakistan, what is that? One thing is, so everybody follows. Okay, buy plot, buy plots, buy plots. Then buy shops, and buy shops. So instead of one stream, we have to diversify in other where there is a real need. We don't have school buildings. We don't have hospital buildings. So we need all these things. So instead of investing just in one piece of plot, you have to invest in other things. We need warehousing. We need factories. So we should be working on these things, I think. So,
thank you so much. That was a great 30-second answer. So Amir, Hussain, how do you see the green buildings and the smart buildings, like Kamran and Faisal is saying? That do you believe in Pakistan with all the integration? You are going to work with many powerhouses in Pakistan to make this integrated communities. So do you see, is that happening? Amir? Okay, looks like he has some audio issues. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not getting any volume.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, I will come back to you. Naseem, what do you see this is happening?
Yeah, Siddique sir, the thing is, let me just quickly say one thing. instead of bringing the villages to cities, it's very important for us to take all the infrastructure to the small villages so people can stay there. Like Farhat said that agriculture land will be taken over by the societies. Again, my persistent input is that regulator has to play a role. They need to make sure infrastructure is brought to every remote area. That's one thing. Second thing, like he said, Mr. Kamran said, that we should expect regulator to put incentives for the people like who can do hospital buildings, warehousing. So these all the percentages, ratios, they're all set by the regulator. So a regulator has to play a role. So we really need to look forward to have a better regulator in place. And then certainly green buildings, when you are looking at the new infrastructures, new developments coming in, so you put the percentage, what percentage will be residential, commercial, out of that what will be the energy efficient green buildings, then traditional. Then on the top of it, it's not the only thing. You really need to look at the other side of it, which is the bigger part of the industry, industrialization. The industries, 100 industries are related to real estate sector. Are they ready to take it? Are they modernized up to the level we are looking at? I mean, we are going forward. Like one part is looking at green buildings, other part is still stuck 100 years back, traditional way of working. We really need to raise everyone's capacity. I think Mr. Amir's mic is now working. We should go back to him since the time is short.
Yeah, Amir, you got a 45-second now.
Naseem, I heard you speaking, but I can hear nobody else. So can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you very well now.
Okay, well, I'll just answer that question, if I may, quickly. My view is that the question is bigger than this. There are bigger issues than just green, and again, I think that we have to try and look at what is happening in the West. There are some big changes that are happening in terms of the whole real estate market. The impact of technology on the retail sector has undermined the sector completely. The way that logistics and deliveries because of internet sales is changing. The way that people are working and living in offices is changing. So now we're in a situation where if we look at how this disruption has caused turmoil in the market, what it's done is it's led to a situation where there is now over $1.4 trillion of investment funds that are looking for a home, because this is no longer an the normal property market is not an equitable solution. We have to look at what is happening around us, and I think we have to come up with things that solve bigger problems. Green is a very important one, but I agree that there's bigger problems as well that have to be tackled through the use of technology.
Definitely, as we have been saying this, mostly we all agree on one thing. The government need to channelize and streamline that process and be making a construction as industry. I think as per, even I may not know exactly all the details, however, I think they have done something, NOC in 45 days. If you apply after 45 days, government cannot act, your NOC is automatically approved already. That's the one thing I did my homework. And the tax structure is there too, and government is finally listening, I would say. And I'm not siding with the government. There are still a lot of listening need to be done. And let's do one thing. Can you share my screen? We need to continue this conversation from here onward. All the collaborators mindset, people who want to pressurize the government, like a build as a, like a pressure group. And what we need to do is we need to continue the conversation. We all have access to the government, different channels in a small capacity. Let's join our hand and make sure we continue to raise the voice to the level. Finally, they have no other option except to listen to rebuild Pakistan in a much streamlined way. What do you think, guys? Can you share my screen? Yes, please. If you are overseas Pakistani, are you within a Pakistan, and you really believe Pakistan has a future of real estate in Pakistan is there, and you believe we can make a difference together, we are not making a partnership, anything. We're just kind of connecting for a collaboration, because we can together we can achieve a lot more. Pressurized Pakistan government and regulators, because now finally it's an industry. You can connect with me and all these people through this chat. meetsiddique.com/chat. WhatsApp number is there, messenger is there, inbox it, because we want to have a many people, because of short of time we cannot really discuss everything right now. Continue this conversation, And all over overseas Pakistani who want to invest and believe before they invest, they want to see something streamlined happen at the government level, regulatory level, get the confidence level, and that way that will help Amir, his work, that will help Farhat and everybody else, like Kamran and Faisal and people who you're watching. You probably have something stake. You didn't get an opportunity to be on this panel. That's okay. Still, you can be part of this conversation, and we can all do it together. So with that one, if anything else you guys want to add, what would you say as a final word, Farhat? It has to be less than 30 seconds because we are about to finish in 3 minutes.
I have only one line to share, and that is the future of the smart buildings or the green buildings is there in adoption of technology, and that is the future of real estate Pakistan. And we investors also need to innovate their investment opportunities. That's my last word.
Wonderful, wonderful, beautiful message. Kamran, what would you say as a final word?
Yes, there are challenges, but there are very much opportunities. I think there is a huge opportunity. We have to be innovative. We have to come with different mindset, with different ideas, and not to follow the crowd. And we have to come with different kind of something new, something different, something that can add value and that can bring a new style of buildings or new type of investments. So, and the small cities and small villages should be modernized. And where you have, if you cannot invest in big cities, you can go into the small villages and small cities, and where you can get and come with innovative ideas. And there is a huge opportunities. So every investors, every overseas Pakistanis, so those who want to come, there are huge opportunities in Pakistan. So come and let's join together to build new and better Pakistan.
Definitely. Naseem?
You know, the opportunities lies where the challenges are. So we at eBuild Pakistan have taken the challenge to organize and digitize the construction industry. So people like Amir himself, Faisal or Kamran, they would be beneficiaries, and we are bringing all the stakeholders at one platform where they can take the benefit. So I would say let's organize and structurize ourselves, and definitely we will grow on a better level.
Thank you. Faisal? You are muted. Amir? You are muted too. Faisal, go for it.
Yeah, I'm just very glad to see such experienced lads who are already working on it. And if I'm of any advice in Pakistan or anything, you can reach me out, inshallah. And there is a lot of opportunities. There is no doubt about that. But we have to be very careful. We have to pressurize, and this pressure needs to work. We are 10 to 20 years behind, but we need to race on because we are working. We need to compete with the best of the best. So we have to be very smart.
Thank you. Amir?
Yeah, just to say that I think that we should set ourselves a test whenever we are doing a project. We can't wait for the government. I think we have to look at ourselves and start with ourselves and say, how is our project making a difference and solving problems within society?
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate every time. Here's my last word. Let's come together to collaborate and we kind of buy into a group. Let's say anyone's project here or anywhere in Pakistan. Let's have a 20, 30, 50 overseas Pakistanis buy everything on their own, however, buy in a collaborative fashion, so we can negotiate with the developer, set a standards they can deliver to us, and we all can actually negotiate with the governments too. Without a collaboration, we all will be failing miserably in our ideas, okay? Because we can only go so far. See, as a team, everyone together, everyone achieve more. With that one, thank you so much for the opportunity to be your host on this, the future of real estate in Pakistan. God bless you and God bless your family in Pakistan. Zindabad. You are muted.
Thank you, Siddique bhai. It was a great session, mashallah, and I think the viewers would have learned a lot from this, and was amazing. Loved the discussion. So thank you very much for you and for the panelists.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So guys, that was the session on the property investments in Pakistan, and as been discussed, the key point you have actually heard that the investment in plots and the land itself doesn't generate any income, doesn't create wealth for the country. And for us to do that is to actually build the buildings on it, and that's where the real growth can come in, and that's what's needed for the Pakistani market. So